Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I want to talk to you about the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console. Now, it's important to note that we are approaching the end of December here, and with that, most of the STO team is going to be out on break, so do not expect any big changes or anything like that, throughout the rest of the year. At most, we're probably just going to see some sales over the next couple of weeks. Any updates to existing systems or big fixes like to that fleet update are going to happen early next year, as they have already announced. So first thing I want to say here is that we have a very large patch and server maintenance going on tomorrow on December 14th. This is going to be going on from 5 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. So that is most likely going to disrupt the game during your playtime. So especially if you're European, a good chunk of tomorrow afternoon, the game is just not going to be up for you. So just keep that in mind. Now, we don't have anything outside of the patch notes this week, so let me go over these. For console, they have updated the memorial plaque to include Kirstie Alley. They resolved an issue that prevented Discovery Klingons from using the beanie category in the Tailor. They just added some beanies in with the winter event. They resolved an issue with the Red Riker ground weapon where some attributes were affecting more types of units than expected. I have no idea what that means. They added additional voiceover to the Q's Winter Wonderland. They resolved an issue where previous year's winter ornament projects were available to captains. So I believe what this was is that you could go through on some fleets and like slot some of the older winter event projects, I think is what it meant. I could be wrong there. They resolved an issue where the Sylvia's Feline Charm item was not playing sounds correctly. And most importantly, they have resolved an issue where the Sylvia's Feline Charm was usable in Q's Winter Wonderland. Sylvia's Feline Charm is the little event that we got from the Halloween event. And it is what lets you turn yourself into a cat. And when you're moving around as a cat, you have much better movement speed. So that, as fun as that is, with there being an actual race between players in the winter map, they took that out for just for balance reasons. And I know that this is going to upset some people, but long term it's for the better. If people miss that Halloween event, then they would have to spend quite a bit of money to get that item unlocked via buyout, or they'll have to wait for it to be put into Muds or Phoenix, a couple years from now. So it makes sense for them to just remove that from the winter map, just to equalize things and make it fair for people who missed out on that event. Then they went through and changed the Breen Omni to have the same restrictions as the other set Omnis. So for those of you that were wanting to stack up, 3 Omnis in your aft slots there, that is not going to be possible with the update tomorrow. And there is a known issue where Romulan captains cannot equip the winter knitted hats for their aligned factions if you're someone that cares about the Tailor stuff. And on the PC side of things, it's most of the same stuff. They resolved an issue with the Kobayashi Miru transporter item, so it no longer shares cooldown with other distress beacon items. However, I don't think they addressed the fact that they increased the cooldown on it, I think is what I was seeing people talk about on Twitter. It used to have like a 90-second cooldown or something like that, and now it's got 120 seconds. So they fixed it, or they undid the nerf that they put in on it last week, where it had a shared cooldown with other distress beacons. But it does look like it may still have a longer cooldown than it used to. They resolved an issue where emergency hologram duty officers were able to be donated to fleet projects. So basically, they're going through and fixing the issue where if you had DOFs from the C store from any of the bundles that gave you DOFs, you could go through and keep reclaiming those for free, and you could contribute them to your fleet. This, that is not a good exploit to have in the game, but thankfully, it wasn't that big of a deal. That's not something you can go in and just spam a ton of to get a ton of fleet credits. So this likely had very, very little impact, but it is good for them to be taking care of that. They've added additional safeguards to prevent duty officers from being accidentally donated. I personally think that they should have just went through and uh like automatically protected all of our like very rare DOFs right off the bat. I think that would have helped quite a bit. Resolved an issue where certain types of duty officers were unable to be donated in the new interface. They have removed the filter option in the new duty officer fleet window donation window because it was not working correctly. So if I go back in game here, what they mean by that is when you went to contribute DOFs under the new interface, apparently all of the DOFs here are filled. So when you went in here, the filter that they had set up just clearly did not work. You see, I've got it set to not show very rare, and clearly I see just very rare DOFs. So, given that that is not currently working, they have temporarily removed it, and it will return when they have it functioning correctly. And then everything else here is the same as what was on the console. And then they have a note issue where there's an issue with the new duty officer donation interface that will prevent captains from donating lithium in place of duty officers. The donation interface will appear to accept the lithium, but no lithium will actually be donated. So, yeah, the window that they put in for the DOF donation stuff is definitely a bit buggy, as I've already talked about in other videos. And it's good that they're removing some of the parts of it that are not currently, functioning the correct way. But I do think this is a case of this system should not have been released in the state that it was. Like, I have no issue with it. I know how to go through and protect my DOFs, so I'm not worried about like donating something, very valuable. But I know that there's a lot of people that are going to get screwed over and accidentally donate DOFs because the way that this new donation system is just so buggy right now. So that's really it for the news. I don't think there was a 10 forward today. And I don't expect there to be one. Yeah, here's a tweet from Kale. So he was unable to do one today, basically, and the next 10 forward won't even happen until sometime in January. So yeah, just don't expect any big changes for the game or anything like that throughout the rest of the year. At most, we're gonna get some sales, later this month, but that's pretty much gonna be it the rest of the month. So any issues that we have, we're probably gonna be stuck dealing with until early next year. But that's it for the news today. There really wasn't that much, the winter events going on. And we're a good chunk into that now. You still have time to go and get started with it if you have not started already. And again, the winter ship is actually really good this time around. There's some people getting really good results out of the experimental weapon. I'll be picking it up over on Tribble this weekend and be testing it out on the stream that I do Saturday. So if you're wanting to see how the ship is, how the experimental weapon is, the console, the trait, stop by my stream this Saturday and find out as I go through and test things. That's going to be it for today. Hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. Again, not much news, but it is December, so the entire STO team is going to be going out on break here very shortly. So that's going to be it for today. Again, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. More videos are coming soon. But until next time, see you guys around.